Can you be 100% scam proof when it comes to overseas relationships? Absolutely. And we're going to dig into that right now. Hey guys, it's Dave, and today we will cover a topic that crosses the minds of every single person considering entering an overseas relationship, whether it be an LDR, long distance relationship, dating, or even marriage. With so many horror stories out there of men getting taken for everything they have, then heading home with nothing but a broken heart and a lonely, meager retirement to show for it, it's important to safeguard yourself and enter a relationship with eyes wide open. But before we can start to understand how best to avoid scams, we should probably get a very real definition of what a scam is. A scam is obtaining money or resources under false pretenses. Seems pretty simple, right? But let's break it down to its two parts. Number one party gets money or resources. Number two, the other party gets, well, lied to, nothing. There are two things in play here, resources and false pretenses. But no matter how hard you try, no matter how smart you think you are, you will never be able to control false pretenses. Lies or misleading promises are just that. And when it comes to relationships, it's the scammer's skill at using the relationship and emotions to fuel your desire to believe and trust. If you've heard some of the stories told by men who have been scammed, either out of a small amount or a small fortune, they will all say the same thing. I just don't understand. Our love was real and I treated her well. Everything was great until... So if you can't control the false pretenses, what can you control? Well, that's right, the money and the resources. So if you want the too long didn't read version of how to never get scammed, here it is. Never give your money to someone else. Never. There you go, problem solved. Or is it? Well, now let's talk about how you can establish a healthy, loving, and mutually satisfying relationship without being viewed as an ATM machine. And okay, I can hear the comments being rattled off now. And truly, I welcome them. So join me in the comments below and we'll have a civil discussion on what this all means to both you and a Filipina. You might say, come on, it's all scams. Old men, young women, how could it be anything else? And they generally fall into either of two categories. The Filipina is only interested in the man's money, or the man is only interested in the Filipina's, assets. But the range is much wider than just two reasons. And while certainly at either end of this range, these preconceived notions may hold true, I would like to believe that most fall somewhere in between. These are the people looking to find mutually rewarding, loving, fulfilling relationships. The Western man is often looking overseas because back at home, he's invisible to women, and online dating offers little to no hope of meeting someone who is interested in an honest, loving partnership, taking on traditional roles and living a simple, quiet life. Things that a man facing retirement is looking forward to. Now imagine refreshing your dating profile instead of a dozen bitter-looking older women telling you that they don't need a man, but they want a travel partner to make their dreams come true. Instead, it populates with hundreds of younger, beautiful women whose profiles say they are looking for a real relationship, a faithful man, someone that will treat them with respect and make them feel special. The Filipina? Does she only want money and an easier life? You might be surprised to find that these don't come into play as much as you might think. Of course, the world around, all women want to be in a financially and emotionally stable relationship. But you will hear a common thread in almost every Filipina's dating profile: faithfulness, maturity, and intimacy. Often a Filipina, once making the decision to date a foreigner, has only done so after reaching the point where they feel they cannot get the relationship they want and need in a Filipino man. Sounds a lot like the Western man's reasons, huh? In fact, if you get two of these people together, they may very well find that they provide each other with exactly what the other needs, fulfilling a lifelong dream for both. But then there are indeed the scams, the scammers, and the liars. How do you become 100% scam-proof and not give money to a Filipina, and still manage to find the woman of your dreams?
If you build it, he will come.
In our case, it's if you build it, she will come. Let me start this idea off with an example. You meet a Filipina, and knowing that it rains a lot, you buy her an umbrella. Sure enough, it rained. Then suddenly, and all too late, you realize the error in your judgment. But now let's say you met a Filipina, and knowing that it rains a lot, you think, I need an umbrella, and it needs to be big enough for me and my partner. The concept is simple. Build a good and stable life around yourself. A place to stay, transportation, a stocked kitchen, clothes to wear, be responsible with your money, maybe a few luxuries to enjoy, the life you want. Then as you date, you will at some point find the woman who sees your life as her ideal, and the relationship will grow from there. She will want to be a part of your world and share the good life you have created, and in return, be the manager of your household and the loving, faithful partner you have always hoped for. Well, it all sounds good in theory anyways, huh? Well, truth is, at this point, normal man and woman relationship issues can arise. Maybe one or both of you weren't as honest with yourselves or each other as you had expected. Maybe you realize there is such a thing as too young for you, or she comes to the conclusion that there's a too old for her. Maybe you were thinking the fantasy included bedroom fun 3 times a week, but she wants 3 times a day. No, really. Whatever the case may be, if you build a good life for yourself and are sharing it with your partner, then if it doesn't work out, you still have the life you've worked so long and hard for. But if you built her a home, bought her a motorbike, bought her an iPhone 16, and the little umbrella you started with, well, then it's gone, and you are back out in the rain. The added benefit to all this, well, you will still attract a scammer initially, but once they see that you will not establish a monetary stream, they will quickly bail in favor of a new potential victim. So in closing, let's cover 5 simple do's and don'ts. Number 1, first and foremost, never give or send money to a Filipina, especially one you've never met. I can almost guarantee you 100% that if your relationship starts with money, it will end with no money, and you will be feeling scammed. Number 2, and say this with me proudly, I will not fall in love online sight unseen. It's absolutely ludicrous to think you can bond soulfully and fall in love with someone you have never met in person. You can fall in love with an idea in your head if you really want to badly enough, but it's just not based on reality, relationship, or continuity. 3 main pillars of a healthy relationship. And let me add this one tip. If you are the type that can fall in love without meeting someone, avoid online dating like the plague. You are indeed one of these horror stories we hear about, just waiting to happen. Number 3, as much as it may tug at your desire to be the knight in shining armor, do not get involved in helping in emergencies, family financial troubles, business ventures, etc. Again, at least not until you are well ingrained in a relationship with a woman you've grown to trust through time and example. Number 4, and I'm sad to say I have to say this, don't be a schmuck. Don't lie to a woman just to get what you want. This makes you as bad as the scammers, and worse than the Western women you're trying to get away from. And number 5, don't think you are superior to her because you are from the West. Don't assume they are undereducated compared to you, as many have college degrees. And for God's sake, don't think for 1 second their street smarts are any less sharp than your common sense. You will lose every time. So there you go. A simple but effective method to being scam-proof in overseas relationships. It's simple, really. Make a good life for yourself, then put yourself out there. When the right Filipina comes along, you will be ready, willing, and capable of sharing a life worth living, and she will take what amounts to a simple life and turn it into an extraordinary.
Hi everyone, this is me again, Kat. And first of all, I'd like to commend Dave. I think he's done very well in that video.
Oh, thank you, baby.
And we would like to invite you into our upcoming video. We'll be having a he said, she said video wherein Dave and I will be discussing the scam-proof tips that he mentioned earlier. Our aim is to hopefully help you understand from a Filipina's perspective.
So if you like the video, please consider commenting, liking, and subscribing. It would really help our channel grow. And until then, take care.
See you soon.